Oh yeah. High stakes in the courtroom, lights shining bright, paparazzi flashing. His face lost in the fight. He played the bad boy, living life on the lam. Now he's trapped in the spotlight. Can he take the stand? Did he do it? Did he do it? The world's on the edge like a fuse lit. Did he do it? Did he do it? Truth's a runaway train and when we're glued to it. The surprise witness steps up, face cool as stone.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
Hero of the hour.
Okay, fine. Here we are. Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine? What is it, Wednesday already? Okay, so here's my judge outfit. I had originally ordered it for Monday. Things happened. I have my gavel. So, I mean, did he do it? You know, I don't know how long we're going to be able to stay with the costume, but, you know, it was supposed to be for Monday, but here we are. Okay, anyway. Okay, so obviously I'm the judge today. So move over. Subramanian, move over. Just kidding. Thanks so much, Taylor. First super sticker of the day. Okay, I'm told there were a few things going on today already. It's 11:06 a.m. Wednesday, May 14th. It is the third day of the second week of trial. Song is good and 2 times the speed. I know I should have did 2 times the speed, huh? Okay. So I guess we'll do what we do every day. We're in a little bit of a routine at this point. Now, before they went into court, started about an hour and a half ago. Apparently stuff has hit the fan. Thank you. Welcome. Huge shout out to Diamond Rainbow in particular, who was in the chat moderating buffoonery and tomfoolery all day. She was in the chat. So shout out to Diamond Rainbow in the chat again this morning. Shout out to the other mods who also dealt with buffoonery and tomfoolery yesterday, Oklahoma Outlaw and Monica. I did see many mods yesterday. Thank you to all the mods in the chat. Shout out to Diamond Rainbow. Everybody drop your links. Mods, drop your links, drop your cash apps, drop your coffee, buy me coffee, and y'all take care of the mods. Take care of the mods if you could. They are keeping it. Listen, I had the occasion to go to a couple people's chats, you know, just who are live. Shout out to Mims, Make It Make Sense over there, holding it down at court. But I was looking at things that not everybody, just a couple little tiny few little things were being said in his chat. And it was like, you know, his mods took care of that as well. And then I was like, God, thank God for good mods, because some places you go on the internet, DJ Academics, for example, some places you go on the internet, people do not know how to act, and the moderators do not also clearly know how to act. So I did want to, I mean, literally hours and hours, these moderators are working for no pay, no nothing, just taking it for the team, looking at all the worst things that people have to say. So put some claps, put some rabbits, put some hearts, put some stars in the chat for the mods. Thank you. Thank you, L'Amour, for the $9.99 super chat, super sticker. Thank you. Yeah, no, I do have a light. I'm changing up my stuff. The issue is, y'all, really, I know it's a little bit dark. I get migraines and stuff. So I'm trying not to have these bright lights in my face for like all hours, but I can start with them brighter. There you go. Thank you. Sicilian beauty. Thank you. Oh my God, that's so cool. Subliminal. All right. So let's start here. Let's get started. We're about, like I said, they started about an hour and a half ago, but they had to get a bunch of stuff done first. They had a bunch of stuff going on with the back end, as it were. Okay. I got all my tabs up. Today, we might actually have an additional source from yesterday. See the collar. I don't know if I'm going to handle it. I might be a little too on the spectrum for this collar to last much longer, but if you know, you know. Okay, so we may actually end up having an additional source today. New York Post. We didn't have that one yesterday, did we? Okay, so let's see. United States versus Sean Combs. Cassie still on direct. So Cassie is still on direct examination. That means that it's still like the first round of questions for Cassie. The prosecutors are asking her questions right now. So they ended yesterday. If you missed that stream, you can go check it out. It's still all fully up. 1 hour ago, all rise. Here comes the judge. The judge says, we have a note from a juror about a scheduling accommodation. It's not in the docket. What about Miss Ventura's husband? Okay, so something about, well, I'm going to change the color of that. Something about, okay, that's better. Scheduling accommodation from a juror. And note right here that Inner City Press does say it's not in the docket. Let's see, the lights are still kind of dark when I make it like, I see what's going on. It's because I have the eye. Bear with me. I have the eye protector, like the dark mode on Twitter. So when I pull up the screen, my monitor's so big, it like actually makes it darker. That's why it looks so dark. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. Just bear with me, This is how y'all know I'm not a AstroTurf plant account. I'm doing my own lighting live. That's better. Okay. Anyway, okay. So we have a note from the juror. So note here that Inner City Press says it's not in the docket. And he's going to say something else about that in a moment. So just keep that in mind. Then he says, the judge says, what about Cassie's husband? He will be removed from the courtroom before a certain issue comes up, says the prosecutor. Okay, so there's a certain issue. Just trying to get my stuff adjusted. A certain issue is going to come up, and then before that certain issue comes up, Cassie's husband got to leave. He got to leave the courtroom. But until then, he don't have to leave. Moving on, the judge says, have the privacy screens been installed? Okay, what are the privacy screens? Somebody please tell me. Have the privacy screens been installed? The prosecutor says they're being installed by court tech staff. Okay, so they're being installed. On the conferring with counsel issue, okay, so something came up. There was a filing about this, but we can read it in a little while if y'all want to. I would need to go download it and stuff. I didn't download it, but I have been reading and keeping up. There was a filing or a request rather made that from Diddy. And Diddy was saying through his lawyers, he didn't want Cassie to be able to talk to her lawyers, what they call confer. When they say confer, that means talk to her lawyers during cross examination. So, you know how she's been, they have been taking breaks, and she did ask for a break yesterday. So the whole breaks thing, they don't want Cassie to be like, oh, I got to use the bathroom real quick and then go talk to her lawyer. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this works on a regular cross-examination. If it's like typical to ask this, maybe it is. But Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, he actually is opposing this, and he's saying, are you freaking kidding me? Not only is he opposing it, but also the feds are opposing it. The feds are saying this would basically like deter other people from ever wanting to come forward if they knew that during like the most aggressive part of questioning, like cross-examination is what everybody's been holding their breath for, me included. We've been waiting, to hear what the federal prosecutors have to ask Cassie on the stand. But really, I think we all have been kind of a little bit like, how's this going to go whenever Diddy's lawyers get a hold of Cassie? I'm going to take this thing off. It's just so aggravating. I just can't deal with it. Okay. So have the privacy screens been installed? They're being installed by the court tech staff. Conferring with counsel issue. Okay. So the judge says, on the issue of conferring with counsel, he said, I tend to agree with Diddy's lawyer, Alexander Shapiro. Then the prosecutor says, what about conferring about questions about privilege? So what exactly is the woman asking? I mean, somebody would need to tell me for us to both know. But the prosecutor is basically making an exception. Like she's trying to get a carve out by the judge. She's trying to get the judge to say, can we talk to the client about fill in the blank. And the fill in the blank is the privilege. Diddy's lawyer said, I'm concerned that during the break, there could be generalized discussion about testimony, and that might come up. We're going to try to avoid any privileged communications. Something is going on with privilege. Okay, so what you need to understand as we're reading through this, other than the fact that this is just like one hero in court kind of typing this stuff up, is so much stuff. Filings, evidence, notes, letters, questions from the jury, all kinds of stuff is behind closed doors at the moment. And a lot of it's going to stay that way. So when they're out in open court, that's public. They're out in open court, that's public. So when they're public, it's like they're beating around the bush. It's kind of like, when it's two adults in the room and you're trying to talk and there's a kid in there or something, it's like you trying to make this. Does look a little dark. So that's kind of what they're doing here. So whenever it's like, I don't really know what they're talking about, some of it has to do with that because they have not unsealed a lot of this stuff. This is aggravating. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get my lighting right. It's it changes every time I move the screens. That's the thing that sucks. I'm gonna have to turn the brightness down on the screen or something for tomorrow. This is what happens when you're doing stuff live. Okay, so the judge says, okay, right. So Shapiro, this is Diddy's lawyer. I'm concerned that during the break, there's going to be discussions between Cassie and her lawyer. That's my concern. And I'm trying to avoid there being any privileged communication. So what did this whole thing about the privileged communications happening on the side? I couldn't tell you. I don't know what that is. However, what I can tell you, what I can piece together is that they are trying to get Cassie to be able to talk about at least some stuff. She says, the prosecutor says, we anticipate these witnesses are going to be on cross-examination for multiple days. They're going to need to talk to their lawyers about stuff. We need to speak to them also about security, transportation. Like we need to talk about stuff off the record that maybe doesn't have that much to do with anything about this. Not off the record, like off the trial record, like irrelevant to this trial, like this logistics. The judge says, okay, Miss Shapiro, talking to Diddy's lawyer, this is 1 hour ago, can you draft something on a piece of paper, an instruction you would have me give? Now, look, he says on a piece of paper. He's not saying, the judge, he's not saying prepare an order, submit it accordingly. He's like, write it on a piece of paper. The defense, so okay, here's the prosecutors. She says, the defense has sent us, Diddy's team and them have sent the prosecutors a zip file of text messages. We are reviewing them before raising it. Okay, the judge said, okay, great, good. I appreciate that. Thank you. Next. Then the prosecutors say the defense, Diddy and then his team, has still not shown us exhibits they may use in the cross-examination of Cassie. We are worried this will continue. Okay, so the cross-examination of Cassie starts today, I think. So, like, after lunch, I think after the break, it'll probably end up being cross-examination because yesterday the Fed said that they were expecting their direct questioning of Cassie to last at least another half day today, to like half of today. So, I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to if that'll be actually, accurate or whatever. But they're saying, look, Your Honor, this is the prosecutors. They're like, Diddy's lawyers have still not told us or shown us rather what exhibits they're going to pull up whenever they're cross-examining Cassie. They still haven't even given us those exhibits. And we're worried this is going to keep going on for the next 2 months as trial goes on. Diddy's lawyer, Ana Maria Estevallo, she said, we are making several chains of text messages. They had these documents in their possession for 8 months before we got them. Okay. So she's saying were marking several chains of text messages. Marking. They, meaning the feds, they had these documents in their possession for 8 months before we got them, which that is a point. That is a point to make. However, you can have something in your possession and not have any idea that it's about to be shown in open court in front of, I think they're kind of just saying like, we would like a little more heads up than like immediately what you're going to be actually showing Cassie. The judge said, okay, we're here. We were told there's half a day left of direct examination. Could you give them at lunch? Okay. So the judge is asking Diddy's team, can they hand over at lunchtime what exhibits they plan to use in the cross-examination of Cassie? I'm not exactly sure what is protocol. In this particular case, what they're arguing about is evidence in the form of text messages and more specifically chains of text messages. So there's going to be several chains of text messages, like threads, conversations, and that's what's going to be shown. The judge said, can you give them to him over there at lunchtime so we can move this along? Because we were told it's going to be half a day anyway. So cross-examination can by default then not start till after lunch because we're here right now. We still got to do a half day. So can y'all hand them over to the feds at lunchtime? Diddy's team said, oh, we got our paralegal printing them out right now. The assistant U.S. attorney said they should have turned these over on April 27th. The judge looks over at Teeny Garagos and says, we did have a schedule. True. Good point. You're just printing them out right now. What? As you mark them, why shouldn't you be required to turn these over? Okay. So the judge is kind of backtracking a little bit. He's saying at first up here, he said, can we hand them over at lunch? And the prosecutor's like, well, excuse me. Can y'all hand them over there at lunch? The defense, as Diddy's team, says, oh, our paralegal's printing them out right now, so we should be able to do that, yeah. And then the assistant U.S. attorney's like, print them out right now. This should have been turned over on April 27th. The judge said we did have a schedule. Teeny Garagos, as they're printing out and marked, can you give me a reason why I shouldn't require you to just hand them over as they come out? But Teeny doesn't answer. It instead is Mark Agnifilo who answers. He says, Rule 16 doesn't contemplate these carve-outs, Your Honor. We are not behind the 8 ball on this. We have complied with Rule 16. I would be surprised if the government only has another 3 hours with Miss Ventura. But whatever. Okay, so Mark Garagos is saying, but whatever, to the judge. And he wasn't, speak when spoken to in court, Mark. And come to find out, nobody was even talking to you. All right. He was actually the Honorable Judge Subramanian was actually talking to Teeny Garagos. Okay. Teeny Garagos is the one he was talking to. But instead, and he says, as you mark them, why shouldn't you be required to turn these over? Well, Mark Agnifilo offers up some sort of answer, which I guess he thinks explains the whole thing or whatever. He says, we have complied with Rule 16. We're not behind schedule. We don't have to turn this over to them early like this. He said, in any event, I will be very surprised, Mark Agnifilo says, if the government only has 3 more hours with Miss Ventura. I would be very surprised if they only have 3 more hours. Meaning, he thinks they're going to be here all day on direct examination still. Agnifilo goes, we don't really think this is required, Your Honor, but I guess we'll do it. Luckily, we have a sizable defense team, so we'll do it. The judge said, prosecutors, what do you want? She said, we want their exhibits, not a trial by ambush. I want them now. I'll find the cases. She's basically like, I don't want to wait till lunch, Your Honor, and I'll find the precedent for the cases right now. The judge says, you don't have to put in a letter. You can just email me the cases and I'll take a look at them. This made my stomach drop when I read that. And I think that Inner City Press must also had some type of this is odd. Because look, he puts his his thoughts, his notes, and brackets on his tweets. Look at the brackets. Inner City Press would ask, are these judicial documents going to go into the public docket? How much is being left off the docket in this case? And I mean, I'm wondering myself. The judge says, basically, he just told Diddy's lawyer, look, not Diddy's lawyer. He just told the feds, the prosecutors, look, listen, just send me an email with the cases. Let's get the show on the road. I'll get the witness back in here. Judge says we have a witness waiting in the back. Produce them before the cross-examination starts. Okay, so produce them meaning the exhibits, okay? We got a witness waiting in the back. We don't have time to do all this, okay? Clowning and clownery, okay? No time. Witness is sitting in the back. Get her out here. You, points to Diddy, points to Diddy's team. Get it done before the cross-examination starts, whether it be 3 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours, 1 hour. Before y'all start with the cross-examination, get the exhibits to the feds. Welcome back, Miss Ventura. Welcome back. All right, hold on. I have to make my order. Also, this time, oh Lord. This time I also have my police. I won't play the siren, but I will if something goes awry, if it's too amiss. Okay. Welcome back, Miss Ventura. All rise. Jurors enter. The judge looks to Cassie and says, you're still under oath. Beep. You're still under oath. The prosecutor, still doing direct examination, says, may I approach the witness? Yes, you may. Miss Ventura, I just handed you 2 drives. I think it's like flash drives you can store electronic data on. She says to Cassie, what is on them? GX8. Cassie said, messages and photos from my devices. Yesterday, you testified about Diddy going armed to look for Suge Knight. Yeah, he took pew-pews with him. And he told you to ask the escorts if they were cops. She said, I would begin by saying I was not a cop. Diddy told you to do that? She said, yes. What happened when you would fight back? Cassie says, I did that more earlier in the relationship. It would make him more violent. He would want to push me harder if I'd fight back. Objection. Objection, Your Honor. Your objection. That is speculation that it made him want to do things. Judge says overruled. Be quiet. Prosecutor says, how would Diddy react if you would fight back? Cassie said, anger. I'm going to show you the LA Intercontinental Hallway again. Play from 1 minute 43 seconds to the 1 minute 46 seconds mark. Tell me, Cassie, who is it that enters? Cassie says, Diddy. And what's in his hand? The prosecutor asks. She says he doesn't appear to have anything. The prosecutor says, okay, fine. Play forward to 1 minute 59 seconds. So play forward 10 or 15 more seconds. Now, anything in his hand? Cassie said, my phone. How did he get it? Cassie said, he took all my stuff. And where does he end up? Cassie said, sitting in a chair in front of the window. What are you doing? I'm walking away from him. Now, who's in the video? Cassie says, me and security. In this one, play from 5 minute 31 second mark. Where did you go from the hotel? She said, to my house. I took an Uber. Now, please, Now, let's turn to text messages. Can you please read page 4? Cassie says, quote, Please call, I'm surrounded. PLS call. Please call, I'm surrounded. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let me keep going. Who sent that? Okay. So we're reading texts. There's a text. Cassie reads it out loud. She says, please call, I'm surrounded. Prosecutor says, who sent that? Cassie said, that's from Diddy. He was running around in a towel. I told him to put the robe on. Who sent these green messages? The prosecutor asks. Cassie said, I did. I wrote to Diddy, quote, Jules left. As long as you're quiet, you can stay. Peace. What? Okay, so Cassie texted. Wow. Cassie texted to Diddy, quote, Jules left. As long as you're quiet, you can stay. Peace. The prosecutor said, who is Jules? Cassie said, escort. Is this Jules? Shows picture. Side by side. This is exhibit B606, B607, and Cassie says, yes, that's Jules. Cassie in big sunglasses, she says, that's me. A selfie of me with a fat lip. When did you take that? Cassie said, in the Uber with one of my phones. What did you write here? The prosecutor asked. I said, please stay away from me. And what does he say? He says, I'm getting arrested? Wow. Wow. Okay, y'all. All right. Woo. Okay. Diddy texted Cassie and said, please help. I'm surrounded. She said, Jules left. As long as you're quiet, you can stay. Peace. So I think these are text messages from when she left. Who's Jules? That was the escort that was there that day. Is this Jules? Yes. Picture. Cassie in sunglasses. Who's this? That's me. A selfie of me with a busted lip. When did you take that? She said, in the Uber, I think on the way leaving. One of my phones. What did you write here? I said, please stay away from me. So she told Diddy, please stay away from me. She texted him. And what does he say? Wow. This is like, I'm not a doctor. I don't know for sure and stuff and all. But like when they tell you what a narcissist is, this is one of the things they say that the narcissists are doing. Is there, oh, I got cancer. Oh, my mom died. Oh, my dog just got hit by a car. Something. It's always just, oh, come back. I'm getting arrested. Come back. The prosecutor said, was he getting arrested? Cassie said, I don't think so. What did you write back? Cassie said, plugging my phone in and going to bed. So she typed back to him, I'm plugging in my phone and going to bed. If you're getting arrested, good night. Who was at your home when you got home? She said, Carrie Morgan. She, apparently this is a model. Somebody said that in my comments yesterday. I don't know. I didn't fact check, but somebody did say that in the comments yesterday. But Carrie Morgan apparently was at Cassie's house when Cassie got back to her house. And who was there? Carrie Morgan. She was upset when she saw me. She called the police. She did call the police. Wow. Wow. Cassie did call the police. Did you speak with them? She said, yeah, but I didn't say who I was talking about, and they left. The prosecutor said, why? Cassie said, I wasn't ready. Did he try to come to your apartment? The prosecutor asked. Yes, he was banging on the door. That was pretty normal for him, but this is a pretty private building. Did you hear from KK that day? Cassie said, yes. And I went to see D-Rock and his wife to try to feel safe. In this photo, the prosecutor asks, what are you wearing? She said, a gown and sunglasses. I had a black eye. What, the prosecutor asks, if any other bruising was visible? She said, I had several bruises on my leg, but I changed clothes. The prosecutor said, "What's this?" It's a picture. And Cassie answers, "It's me and Diddy at the after party." The prosecutor said, "I'm going to show you some escorts. Do you know the name of this person?" Cassie said, "No." "In what cities did you, quote, use him?" Cassie said, "New York." "Who's this?" Another picture is shown. Cassie said, "Islander. He was on, quote, Latin Men. We used him in LA and maybe Vegas." It's very weird how they're saying used. You know what I mean? Like, I know that is like a normal like language for some things. Like, was like, okay, oh yeah, we used him to do our roof or whatever. Like, we used them to do our pictures or whatever. But it's kind of like, I don't know. In this context, like using that word like used, it's just kind of like, eesh. Islander, a guy named Islander that they found on Latin Men, no less. You know, it just feels all a bit, I don't know, grotesque. "Who's this?" The prosecutor. Oh, hold on. "We used him, Islander." All right. So I don't like calling him that. Oh my God. That's what they're calling him, Islander. He was on Latin Men. Okay. So they used him in LA and maybe Las Vegas. "Who's this?" Another picture, 2A-616. "We called him Tommy," Cassie said. "Who's this?" "I know him as Greg, an escort in Miami." Are y'all freaking out? Jonathan? Has anyone confirmed if this is Jonathan Oddie? I am going to have a live stream panic attack, and I don't even have those. Okay. Jonathan, y'all, he did an interview yesterday. That was one of the things that I was going to do whenever we were doom refreshing later this afternoon. Jonathan Oddie did an exclusive interview at News Nation yesterday, and News Nation has at least one plant LARPing as a YouTuber in the court. Okay, he was on Latin Men. We call him Tommy. We called this one Greg. Who's this? Jonathan. Y'all, my heart. Hold on. It's time. I have an emergency to announce. There's been mention of a Jonathan, and it's incidentally looks to be spelled the same, but I don't think they would have told that to Inner City Press. Announcement. They said Jonathan. I think that's Jonathan Oddie. Mostly just want to play him a little toy. Okay. Who's this? Red baseball cap backwards. I don't know. He looks familiar from the freak offs. "What did you write here?" Quote, Cassie says, quote, "This is all we do. I'm just getting back on track. I'm sure you can call Kim or something." Ooh, I know y'all been waiting for me to read this. Woo! I'm sure you can call your baby mama Kim Porter. Maybe she'll do the FO with you. Ooh, I told y'all I was having the tingle yesterday. Do you remember whenever I requested Kim Porter's autopsy report? One of the things that I found to be very unsettling and inexplicable was that there was some type of faecalis bacteria in Kim Porter's actual blood samples or her tissue samples. It was like faecalis. There was no corona, nothing, no flu. She died of pneumonia. She had no flu in her system, but she had faecalis in her blood samples. That means feces. That's the Latin root for feces. And it's like a specific bacteria or whatever that you get from finding feces. And people were saying maybe, by the time they took the blood samples, her, organs had begun to deteriorate, which would result in a leaking. I'm certainly not a doctor, I don't know. But why was there faecalis? And then we're hearing now PP activities and blood activities yesterday. So we're really only missing one more and other fluids. So we're really only missing one other eliminatory fluid. I guess they didn't talk about spitting. But I'm just like, I was having that feeling yesterday that they had poor Kim Porter in the FOs, and they had her in one, and she was recovering from one, and that's why she was getting IVs, and then she passed away in 2018. Oh man. But I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist, y'all. They didn't say that here. All we have here is Cassie saying, Wow, this is crazy. The prosecutor says, "What did you write here in the text?" Cassie said, quote, "This is all we do. I'm just getting back on track. I'm sure you can call Kim or something." Her kids are in the courtroom, y'all. "What did you mean by this is all we do?" Cassie said, "Freak offs." "Well, did you try to avoid anything in the freak offs?" Cassie said, "I tried to avoid kissing. It seemed too intimate, but Diddy told me to do it, to kiss the escorts." "What did Diddy ask you to do on your 29th birthday?" Cassie said, "A freak off." "He had me pulled out of the Blind Dragon for the freak off. Some security?" Okay, it's getting heated in here. They're objecting. "What is the Blind Dragon?" Somebody tell me, is the Blind Dragon a show, a movie? I don't know what's the Blind Dragon. He had me pulled out of the Blind Dragon for the freak off. Some security. So I guess some security guard pulled her out of the Blind Dragon. I don't know what that is. "What about blackmail material?" Cassie said, "He wanted me to fear," and they cut her off. Objection! The judge says, "Overruled." Prosecutor says, "When would Diddy mention the freak off videos? When would he mention the videos that he had recorded and saved?" Cassie said, "To hurt me. One time I was dating someone else and he threatened to release the freak off videos. I would have to answer to my mother. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone." "What did Diddy say the impact would be on you?" Cassie said, "Shame." So Diddy told her she would be shamed. "Let me show you a chat. Who's on it?" Cassie said, "Me and Diddy, July 22nd, 2013. Okay, so I'm just, y'all, my Jonathan Oddie and Kim Porter, I cannot stop thinking about Jonathan Oddie and Kim Porter. It's like, right, this part of my head right here is tingling. "Let me show you a chat. Who's on it?" She said, "Me and Diddy, July 22nd, 2013. Whew, she said, "Read your message." Cassie said, "I wrote, quote, please delete the videos off your phone. Too many people have access. Too many people have access to your devices." He said, so Diddy responds, allegedly, according to what I'm reading right here, quote, "No iCloud, all good, Ambien kicking in." So she said, delete the videos off your phone. And he's basically like, "I don't have them on my phone because I don't have iCloud, no iCloud." Now, very, very, very importantly, if you follow my coverage, you will notice I like to weave the web in and out of here. Next week, we're going to start incorporating the web. Excuse me. Next week, we're going to start incorporating the actual web, my web that I make and stuff. Not going to do that this week. Seems like a lot. But this iCloud, do pay attention to this. I think it's going to come up because I think, oh man, I think this is going on rampantly. Oh man. Britney Spears had said that through her lawyer in court documents that her iCloud account was not hacked, mirrored. It doesn't require you to hack. It's just mirror. So basically it makes like a clone device. Like you can have like a whole nother Britney Spears' phone. And she claimed that her dad or her management, whoever it was using that to look at things that she was doing. Also in the Justin Baldoni and the Blake Lively case, this is coming up as well. Jennifer A. Bell, one of these people that's the PR demons. I mean, they're all demons, both sides. But one of these PR girls, it is crazy. She had to turn her iPhone over to her boss. Like basically under threat, she claims. And the boss somehow got her iCloud sign in or whatever, had her iCloud updating. She had her phone. And so the boss, even though the employee had left, they're in a battle. They're suing each other, all this stuff. And the boss the whole time, even while they're suing each other, still has the iCloud mirrored. Can you even believe that? So Cassie was worried, obviously, about some such an issue. And she says, "Can you please delete the videos off your phone?" He said, "No iCloud," meaning I don't have them. All good. So like you have nothing to worry about. And then he said, Ambien kicking in. Oh, I could not deal with a man like this. How do you deal with somebody like this for years? I mean, I've dealt with people that act like this, but it's like, oh my God. And I'm not blaming Cassie. I do see how he had her to where if she would run away, she really couldn't get away. Like that's the bottom line for me. When Cassie would run away, she would get hunted down, allegedly. So then they go to a sidebar. Sidebar is where they go, all the lawyers go have a little secret over there to the side. Okay, let's see. That was about 30 minutes ago. I'm refreshing. I know they must have had. Oh man, they are really. Okay. Okay, interesting. All right, cool. Whew, all right. So they took a sidebar. I'm assuming that the lawyers went up there and were asking, can you do something, Your Honor? And the judge is like, okay, fine. So 33 minutes ago, 11:10 a.m., the judge says, Inner City Press says judge has taken a break to, quote, change some things in the courtroom. During the break, Diddy sits at the defense table. His lawyer, Xavier Donaldson, is leaning down to speak with him. The prosecutor said there's still some issues with the privacy screens. So I think they were going to show some footage that not everybody's going to see. Yesterday, the judge seemingly tentatively ruled. So he reserves the right to change his mind, but it seems like he for the time being ruled that only the jury and the parties are going to see, and the lawyers and stuff like that are going to see the FO tapes or whatever. I'm calling them FO tapes, not out of, thinking that's an accurate description, but I just, for brevity. Yeah. So I think they were going to put up some screens, somehow. Also, these privacy screens could have something to do with something else. I don't know. In any event, the prosecutor said, Your Honor, there's still some issues with the privacy screens, so we'll put that off and we'll do something else now. Judge says, okay. Cassie comes back in. Welcome back, Cassie. Bring in the jury. Okay, so today, Cassie is walking in before the jury. Yesterday, they gave her a chance to stand up and stretch and hobble in. Ooh, Lord. All right, bring in the jury. Jury comes in. All right, here comes the prosecutor. This is 19 minutes ago. I offer more exhibits, more text messages. What did you say here? The prosecutor asks. I'd been told there was a sexually explicit video out there about me. So I reached out to Diddy. Then what? Well, we were driving back from New York City, from Atlantic City, to talk to this DJ. Who, kid? Then what happened? Oh, did that happen? Did you go talk to the DJ? Cassie said, yeah, at a restaurant. And what was security's role? Cassie said, to intimidate. They were lining the room. Who was there? She said, Uncle Paulie, James Cruz. James Cruz, remember, is the CEO, president or whatever of Bad Boy at the time. Uncle Paulie, I think, is security. Next question. How would you recover from a freak off? She said, I would take opiates. I wanted to feel numb. We would get massages, IV fluids. The chef would cook us something. How often did you take these substances after freak offs? She said, often. I got UTIs. Were the UTIs painful? Girl. Were the UTIs painful? She said, very. Wow. She said antibacterials didn't even work anymore. Oh, man. We mentioned Jonathan, because remember what Jonathan had said. Jonathan Hottie. I don't know if it's John. I don't know if that's the Jonathan. That's an extremely popular name for 1,000 years or something. There was no last name mentioned. But he said that part of the reason that he had a settlement from Diddy was because he contracted a certain transmittable illness. He said this. I didn't run the test. I don't know. He could be lying. He could be full of, you know what, fakealis, as it were. Cassie said the antibacterials didn't even work no more. Poor thing. You can tell she's trying to kind of be like, I don't know if it's funny or sarcastic. It's hard to tell just from reading. But the prosecutor's like, how did it feel during the freak-offs? She said, burning. I would not advise it. That's what Lily Phillips said. It's not for the weak girls. Wouldn't recommend. Oh, the prosecutor said, let's read this out loud. Cassie, quote, I have all these sores on my tongue. I have another UTI. What sores? Wow. Y'all, viewer discretion advised. This is an issue of public concern, issue of public importance. What sores? Cassie said friction in her mouth. From what? The prosecutor asked. From the mouth activities. You can read the screen if you're so inclined. Next question. You said another UTI and then a sad face emoji. Cassie said, yeah, I was open with him about the UTIs. Quote, so you feel sick? Cassie, quote, why are you sorry? Oh, Cassie said, I took the blame for things. Okay. Smith SpaceX said defense is taking notes and will use this and cross. Okay, we do have the hotel security email. Okay, we're almost caught up to real time. I think we have 2 more or 3 more tweets. 1 minute ago, which escort, oh my God, would go to the SEX clubs with you and Diddy? Cassie said, Jules. That's the same escort from the Intercontinental in LA? Cassie said, yes. Did you want to have relations with Jules ever? She said, no, and laughed. But I knew him. Why did you do it then, Cassie? Cassie said, 'cause of Diddy. That's the most recent tweet. But then we do have an exhibit. Breaking news, breaking news. We have an exhibit 50 seconds ago, courtesy of Inner City Press. I do have his link permanently in my description box below to his Twitter, and all of his other links are there if you want to follow him as well, if you want to start before me or whatever. And he's updating all kinds of cases all the time. He's posting stuff like this. So now, amid the second day of Cassie's direct testimony in U.S. versus Sean Combs, here is an exhibit from the trial. This is the L.A. hotel security email. So here's the email, hot off the press to the public. Here it is. This was from 2016 from the security guard to, I guess, the hotel people. I'm really not sure. You can read it, LAXHA. I don't know. Today, March 16th, approximately 11:14 a.m., I got a call from Instant Services, Wanda, saying she had gotten a distress call from the 6th floor. I then looked at the cameras to familiarize with the situation on the floor until all I saw before I took off immediately was a male, black, wearing only a towel, walking back and forth. I arrived at the scene. I noticed that the male was rapper Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy. I observed him sitting down in a chair, far left chair of the 6th floor, and the female who was closer to the hallway, later identified as CC by Mr. Combs. CC. Ooh, she did say that's what he would call her. Yesterday, she testified that Diddy had a name for her, and it was CC for Cassie Combs. Oh, I saw the damage that had been done, and I began to diffuse the situation by advising Diddy to understand his status and the safety concerns of our guest. He had began yelling at Cassie, and I advised both of them to separate from each other, and it wasn't convenient for both. And if it wasn't convenient for both of them to continue this, it wasn't convenient for both of them to continue this, especially in the hallway in a towel. I then proceeded to advise him to return back to his room. Diddy began to offer me a bribe. He did describe it as a bribe in the 2016 email. Interesting. Quote, "You take care of this. I got you. Let's go to my room." He began to offer me a bribe. Quote, "You take care of this. I got you. Let's go to my room." I then responded with, "Sir, I know who you are," while extending my arm to shake his hand. And I said, "All I ask is for respect for the guest and myself. So do me a favor and let's return you to your room." He got up and began to walk to his room. As we made our way down to the north hallway, Cassie was behind him, coming from the south hallway. Diddy noticed her while turning back and began to raise his voice. Okay, so he noticed her and he starts hollering, but the security guard is with Diddy. I told him if he didn't respect the guest, then he would be escorted off the property. We walked to his room, 602, and when he went inside and Cassie was told to leave by Diddy, she did just that. Diddy opened the door and brought out a currency band wrapped around $100 and told me again, "Thank you." A currency band wrapped around $100. So he had, I don't know what does that mean? What is a currency band? What? He told me again, "Thank you," and said, "You take care of this and I take care of you." I declined the money and I told Diddy all we needed was for him to stay in his room until checkout, which is today. I left the scene at 11:25. I took the elevator down and I saw Cassie and advised her I did not want to see her, him to see her, excuse me. I saw Cassie and advised her I did not want Diddy to see her. So I walked her over to the valet office until her ride got there. And then I asked her that we would need some information from her to stand by. Then I walked her over to MOD Addy's office and advised him, manager on duty, Addy, ADEY, and advised him of the situation that I needed him present. For. We then walked over to Cassie and she was unable to be located. We then went up to the 6th floor, took pictures of the guest lobby elevator landing, and made our way to guest room 602. The manager on duty, ADEY, wanted to introduce himself and let him know of hotel rules and advise him that the damages would be charged to his room. When Diddy came out, he was yelling, still in a towel, but Ade and I stopped him before he did what? I don't know. He didn't say. Look, see right here, stopped him before he did and advised him that we were not there to make it bigger than it already was. He saw the manager on duty, Ade, holding his phone, and he automatically assumed he was being recorded. So Diddy grabbed the manager's hand and then grabbed his hand and told him to back off, and I took his hand away from the manager on duty. Now, this is one of the points of contention that's coming up because the defense is going to probably bring this up. Why was it that he on cross-examination they did bring this up? Excuse me. They said, "Well, why was it you didn't write down in your report that you pinned him to a wall and all that? You talking big game right here in court today, but where's the pin into the wall and all of that in this report?" He said, I just didn't want to make it a bigger deal than it, and this kind of does check out, right? He's saying, I don't want to make a bigger deal than it already was. Because like a hand grab is like a little less severe than like a fight. He was told no one was recording him. The safety and the privacy of the guest is important to the hotel. If he tried to do something like that, he would get kicked out and escorted off the property by the police. He calmed himself down and apologized and said, "It's just that I don't want to lose anything, and I can lose it all." We then reassured him all we need him was to calm down and not have any more scenes from the time until his checkout time. We then left the scene and resumed normal operations. Note, we will be conducting extra patrols until his checkout, in which we will be taking pictures of how the room is left at this moment. Here are the pictures that the manager took of the guest lobby. Please stand by until we have all pictures. Diddy has not yet checked out. Okay, so let's see if there's any more updates from the trial. This is going on right now. Cassie on the witness stand. Okay, so the last tweet we read was 9 minutes ago from Inner City Press, and he said, and it was the prosecutor asking which escort would go to the sex clubs with you and Diddy. Cassie said Jules, and the prosecutor said, yeah, is that the same one from the Intercontinental Hotel? She said, yeah. Did you want to have relations with Jules? Cassie said no and laughed, but I knew him. Why'd you do it then? She said, because of Diddy. Who was present? This is the most recent tweet. Who was present when Diddy put his hands on you at freak-offs? She said sometimes the escort was there. She said in the same room? Yeah. One time Jules. And in the suite? Yeah. Were they aware? Objection, because you're not supposed to answer on other people's mental state. Cassie said, yeah, they were aware. The judge overruled the objection. So I guess it is getting to the time of the day where we'll start to check, cross-reference our other sources. Oh, we got another tweet 37 seconds ago. The escorts would ask me if I was okay afterward. In what cities did he put his hands on you? New York, LA, Miami. How frequently? She said too frequently. I do think this isn't going to cut it once defense comes up. They're going to say, what do you mean too frequently? What is this? Like one time is too frequently. So I do kind of wish that there would be a little bit of like, how many, but I do see how that wouldn't really help the prosecutor's case, hopefully they will get to that. It's interesting to observe how they're jumping around the pattern of questioning. Oh man, too frequently. What's the Abbey? She said a gay club in LA. I went there with my friend. Okay, let's check. Who were we checking with the most yesterday? Was it NBC? All right, let's check our other sources here and see if we can fill in some details. Before Cassie, this is from 2 hours ago. We're going to see if we can get some details of some of the drama before court started. Before Cassie, look, see the title? Prosecution accuses Diddy's lawyers of trial by ambush in a heated exchange. Before Cassie took the witness stand, prosecutors and defense lawyers clashed over how much notice each side deserves about upcoming trial strategy. The Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey was noticeably angry as she lashed out at the defense for allegedly not turning over exhibits it was planning to use to question Cassie. We don't want a trial by ambush. But the defense attorney, Mark Agnifilo, that's Diddy's attorney, insisted his side doesn't need to tip its hand about how it's going to cross-examine witnesses. Quote, they have the burden of proof. We don't have to give the government what we're going to use so they can prepare their witness. This is true as far as actually how the rules go. This part, right? We don't have to give them, this part. They have the burden of proof. We don't have to tell them our trial strategy. And certainly not so they can prepare their witness, because that is what else they got into a fight about this morning. So I think these two things go hand in hand, where Agnifilo is saying, we don't want Cassie talking to her lawyers after they are about to drop some surprise evidence. That's what all of this heated contention is about, in my opinion. They are about to drop some surprise evidence, girl. That's what I think is coming on cross. And that's probably going to start today. There's Agnifilo right there. Thank God. I was looking for a new picture of him. The U.S. District Court judge denied the government's request that the defense turn over what it expects to use for Cassie's cross. Well, kinda. He said just turn it over before the cross-examination starts. Cassie describes hotel attack, says Diddy told her she wasn't going to leave him. Oh, new information we're getting here. Cassie described how Diddy lost control during a 2016 meltdown in a Los Angeles hallway, hurling a vase that missed her. Quote, I don't remember exactly his words, she told the court. I'm sure he was calling me something other than my name. Security was eventually called, but Diddy allegedly made himself clear that Cassie was not free to leave on her own accord. The defendant Diddy told Cassie, apparently, according to her testimony, quote, that I wasn't going to leave him and that I couldn't. You're not going to leave me? You can't. Diddy banged and kicked at door at Cassie's apartment after the hotel incident. Diddy pounded on Cassie's apartment door, demanding to see her after assaulting her. She still isn't sure how he got to the 17th floor of her apartment building, calling the scene, quote, chaos outside the door, banging, yelling. Okay, so we are getting a little bit more context here where this whole banging on the door scene and all of that was happening right after the incident. She had gone home and here comes Diddy banging on the door. Chaos outside, but he didn't get inside. He was just banging. The court is now looking. Oh, wait. Cassie says she covered up a black eye, fat lip, bruised legs for her movie premiere. Ooh, and some YouTube sleuths and internet sleuths did pull that up. After the Cassie lawsuit dropped, some people came out and did find some stuff that was, looked like Cassie was all bruised up at a premiere. The court is now looking at text messages and photos shortly after the hotel attack had taken place. Cassie said she had to attend the premiere of her movie, quote, The Perfect Match, with bruises on her face and body. She said she thought at the time Diddy was sick to think that it was okay to do that to her. Okay, new quotes, y'all. Diddy was sick to think that it was okay to do that to her. But she wanted him to stay anyway. The court was also shown a photo of Diddy and Cassie smiling at the premiere. She said she had to change her outfit to cover up the bruises on her legs and needed to apply a lot of makeup to cover up the black eye and the fat lip. That is sad. Now, interestingly, they leave out Jonathan. They don't say Jonathan as a name. Isn't that freaking interesting? Ketamine was the drug of choice for Diddy and Cassie during their parties with workers, she told the court. Diddy had it. It took time out of the freak off. That was my preferred substance because it was the most dissociative. The prosecution showed Cassie a dozen photos of workers hired for these FOs. Okay, so she was saying the one with the K, that made her dissociate the most. Okay, that's good information to have because I didn't know. That's how that worked. The prosecution showed Diddy a dozen photos of workers hired for the freak-offs. She remembered many, but not all of the names, such as Ash, Islander, Skylar, Jake, from the website Cowboys for Angels. Don't remember his name. He looks familiar from FOs, she said of one picture. Cassie says Diddy blackmailed her with sex videos from the freak-offs. She said that when Diddy was upset with her, he would frequently remind her that he had videos of her having relations at the freak-offs. She said that Diddy brought up the videos on the night of her birthday when she refused to leave her friends to go with Diddy to yet another freak-off. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone, she said. And it's like, yeah, he obviously is like so controlling. He cannot let her have a birthday night. She cannot have a birthday night. She has a birthday night and then it has to turn into the night for Diddy where they have a FO. She said Diddy brought up the videos on the night of her birthday when she refused to leave her friends to go with Diddy to a freak-off. It's a horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone, she said of the alleged blackmail. It could ruin everything I worked for. Make me look like a SLUT. I wasn't even supposed to be on those videos. I didn't want to be in them. I'm glad we got this quote. We're going to keep reading from all of the different, oh my Lord, look at that. I got to take a screenshot. She don't have on that. I'm gonna be nice. Is that Fahim Muhammad, the one who was with is that Fahim Muhammad? The one who was with Michael Jackson the night he died or whatever? Is that him right there? That looks like him. Different hair cut. But there's that's Janice, that's I believe Christian. I don't know who this one is. King Combs. Yeah, let's call him no, what's worse, Christian or King? King of what? Held an umbrella for his mama, Janice. His meemaw, his what did pop? I'm so sick. As they arrived in court, it is raining today. It's raining in my house too. Cassie describes panic. Okay, so we're getting more details, more information. Cassie describes panic over the FOs and having the videos released. She was panicking. She recalled the panic she felt after first learning that a video of her having relations with another man at Diddy's direction might have leaked. The former girlfriend was hosting an event in Atlantic City. And what does this hosting an event mean anyway? When, quote, someone I was working with said they saw a sexually explicit video of me. So I reached out to Diddy. You need to call me ASAP. According to a text message she sent to Diddy on March 9th, 2014, she said that any leaked footage, quote, would put my career in jeopardy and cause great embarrassment to my mother, my family. She would recover with massages and substances. She said after a FO, she would go back to Diddy's place where they would have massages and take care of themselves. I had an addiction. There it is. I called it months ago. This is what it's going to come down to. And they're going to rake her over the coals for this. They're going to be like, you were just a JUNKI. I feel it. I know it. I hope they don't. I hope I'm wrong. Cassie said after an FO, she would go back to Diddy's place where they would have massages and take care of themselves. I had an addiction to opiates. I would take substances to calm down. I wanted to feel numb and not know what was going on in my mind. She said she got them from a dealer who sometimes did them with her. Beginning in 2007. Is Dallas Austin about to enter the chat because Brittany, Sam Lutfi, the white Louis Vuitton purse, 2007. If Mustard is in the chat, timestamp. Okay. When asked how she felt after an FO, she said, quote, I felt so tired, achy, dehydrated, not really eating too much. Emotionally, I felt empty, gross, like I did a job. This is a quote. Quote, I felt so tired, achy, dehydrated, not really eating too much. Emotionally, I felt empty, gross, like doing a job, like I did a job. She said that they gave her UTIs, mouth sores, stomach problems. She said that the freak-offs would sometimes cause her to have UTIs, mouth sores, and gastrointestinal issues. When we were having frequent FOs, they were back to back. Sometimes I would do one with an infection. I tried to flush it out with water. I got to the point where antibiotics just didn't work anymore. It was a mess. She said she would also get, oh my God, mouth sores due to the repeated use of the lubricant. Quote, it was really painful for a long time. I can't believe I actually dealt with that. 2 more updates from CNN. He tried to force a swingers lifestyle on Cassie with sex clubs, she says. Hold on, I need to send a text. Hold on a second. Okay. So now we're going to talk about swingers. Okay. Swingers is the next topic up at issue. Diddy told his then girlfriend, Cassie, that having multiple sex partners was a lifestyle and a turn on for him. What he told me, this is a quote. What he told me is we could swap partners, a certain lifestyle, and that was a turn on for him. This was after the prosecutor asked if she was a swinger with Combs. This lifestyle included visiting sex clubs, which Cassie said she didn't enjoy. When she didn't want to go, Combs still pressed the issue. So this is like what he always wanted to do. She was like basically like his sex toy, like that, like seemingly like what they describe. Now, innocent until proven guilty, and we do have a cross examination coming. Some of the time, he would try to turn the energy around and keep it positive, become playful and funny and not scary. He would push and try to convince me. When the prosecution asked why she drank so much at the club, she said, because I didn't want to be sober. I didn't want to. It was gross in there. Okay, let's see. The inner city press, I'm sure, has a few more tweets. Drake has entered the chat. Drake has entered the chat. Okay. Most recent question that we read from these tweets is, what is the Abbey? Cassie said it's a gay club in LA. I went there with my friend. Where were you going? She said to a music festival in Canada run by Drake. Diddy came to my house and tried to attack me. I was thrown into the bed frame. What's this? Cassie said it's a photo of my eye afterward. Who took you to the doctor? She said. Cassie said D-Rock, the security guard. Did you send this photo to Diddy? Yes. And I wrote, so you can remember. I wanted him to be sorry about it at least. In this photo, where were you? Cassie said, in the green room in Toronto. I put hair over my eye. Then we went to the Hamptons. Diddy wanted to have a freak off in the Hamptons. We got a hotel. We got an escort. Which one? Dave. I took G to the H to the B. I went into what is called a, quote, G hole, and I blacked out. I woke up nude in the shower. Dave and Diddy were freaking out. I bugged out. It wasn't pretty. I didn't know what that was. I guess she blacked out. I guess that's some sort or form of like an overdose of some type. If you're blacking out and they're freaking out. She said, I bugged out. It wasn't pretty. Then what? Wow. I just keep having like visual, like flashes in my mind of Kim Porter dying alone in a bed with her niece in the bed with her that night of pneumonia, but she didn't have the flu in her system. She had facialis in her system. She had been given IVs. I just keep thinking about it. And Jonathan Oddie, the one who went and shot up the Trump hotel because apparently he was so traumatized by this. Lest you forget, Cassie said yesterday the Trump hotel was one of the many places that they would do these things, these freak-offs. So Cassie's describing a night where she did substances, went to a so-called G hole, blacked out, woke up in the shower naked. Then the escort and Diddy are freaking out. She said, I bugged out. It wasn't pretty. This is such a reckless disregard for human life. It's like they can't even call, you can't even call the ambulance or whatever if you have a life or death situation. Like, what are you going to do? I bugged out. It wasn't pretty. Then what? She said, I spoke to one of Diddy's friends and then we had a freak off. So she woke up from being blacked out and then they did the freak off, according to her testimony. Another exhibit. What's this? She said, my eyebrow healed up a little bit a week later. I have a permanent scar on my eyebrow. What's this? That's me at the Cannes festival. What happened at Cannes? Diddy accused me of taking substances from his boat. He threw me off. He threw Cassie off of his boat, y'all, according to her testimony 2 minutes ago. Does it literally mean threw me off? We're going to read. Don't worry. We're going to read the updates from the other places. He threw me off. And you were on the red carpet that same night? Yes. Did you attend the movie? Yes. How'd you get back to New York? On a commercial flight? On a commercial flight. I traded my seat to get away from him, but he traded to get next to me. What did he show you? Freak off videos. He played them for me on one of his laptops, and then he said he would release them. Okay, so I don't know if this is all the same Cannes Film Festival situation. We can check in on CNN. Let's see, New York Times. Are we not getting the updates? Oh, this is key moments. Okay. Okay, we're on CNN now. We didn't go all the way back to 2 hours ago. I just went back 26 minutes. Yeah. Ventura says she felt empty after freak-offs. Empty. I definitely felt just gross. That's a quote. She said she felt worse when she didn't stay with him after a freak off. She said she felt like, okay, I did my job and now I'm going about the rest of my life. The same feelings over and over. I bet she did feel so used and discarded. I just could not imagine. Whew, Lord have mercy. She says Diddy would push her to go to sex clubs even though they made her uncomfortable. She testified that she and Diddy would go to these clubs where she would have relations with Diddy or an escort at the clubs. She said she didn't want to have relations with the escort, but Diddy would request it. She testified that she told Diddy she didn't like those clubs and that they made her uncomfortable. He'd usually just keep pushing, or just try to convince me that it'd be a fun thing to do or that we wouldn't go for long. She said she would often drink alcohol or do substances before they went. Diddy assaulted her at times when an escort was still in the hotel room, she testified. She testified she was injured during freak-offs on several occasions when Diddy would put hands on her. She said it happened too frequently, and there were times when Diddy would assault her with an escort still in the hotel room. Wow, 7 minutes ago. She describes an altercation with Diddy that left her with a permanent scar on her eyebrow. She's now testifying about a time in August 2013 when she was sleeping in her apartment after going out with some friends. She said she woke up to a commotion with Diddy in her apartment yelling about her being asleep and not packing for an upcoming trip. Two of her friends jumped on Diddy's back because he was trying to attack me. Okay, Inner City Press left that out. Two of Cassie's friends jumped on Diddy's back, quote, because he was trying to attack me. Eventually, we ended up from the living room into the master bedroom, and they were still jumping on his back. When he threw me down, I hurt my eyebrow on the corner of my bed. This must be Tiffany Red. Corner of my bed, she testified by adding Cassie saying, quote, pretty significant gash on the side of my eyebrow. One of Diddy's security guards took Cassie to a plastic surgeon that day to suture her injury. Wow. Breaking. I mean, that's a big deal. They took Cassie to the plastic surgeon that day. That Diddy allegedly, according to her testimony, busted her eyebrow wide open. She said, took me to the plastic surgeon that day. She said, I still got a scar though. She sent an image of her injury to Diddy later that day with the text, so you can remember. I didn't want him to forget what he did, she testified, saying that at the very least, I just wanted him to be sorry about it. The jury saw a photo of Cassie in French Montana. Ooh, at a festival shortly after the incident. She testified that she styled her hair over her wound so it would not be visible, pointing to her eyebrow on the witness stand. She said she has a permanent scar from the injury. I cover it with makeup, she added. So she probably has to like fill in that part of her eyebrow. That is something, y'all. Let's go to Inner City Press. So she was going to this music festival in Canada run by Drake, and then there's a picture with French Montana. So that's two contexts put together, sutured together, if you will. I wanted him to be sorry about it. Okay. My eyebrow, it healed up a little bit a week later, but I have a permanent scar. What's this? Me at the Cannes Film Festival, commercial flight. I traded my seat to get away. How did you feel? She said trapped. When you landed in New York, what did you do? We went to a dinner. Then he wanted to have a freak off. So we had a freak off. Why did you do that? Cassie said to make him stop threatening me or to not threaten me. CNN has an update. I'm bouncing back and forth between so that we can get the context. Oh, Lord. Ventura, as Cassie says, Combs often threatened to release videos of her if she didn't behave. She testified that Diddy frequently threatened her with releasing the videos of the freak-offs if she didn't behave how he wanted. That was a big part of our relationship, she said. Okay, breaking, less than 1 minute ago. Cassie testifies about Diddy showing her freak-off videos she thought were deleted. She said her and Diddy stayed on his friend's boat. Who is the friend? Is it Epi? Whose friend? Who owned this boat is the number one question on my mind. Oh my God. Cassie said her and Diddy stayed on his friend's boat one time to attend the Cannes Film Festival when they got into an argument after he accused her of stealing rugs from him. This is just too reminding me of that White Lotus show. He kicked me off the boat with no shoes early in the... Okay, kicked me off the boat, not threw her off. Okay, Inner City Press had me thinking she got thrown off the side of the boat into the water. I walked over to his staff's hotel and I stayed in somebody's room. At an event at the festival, Diddy kept giving her evil glares. He would grab my leg and like squeeze my thighs as tight as he could. And I was wearing a beaded dress, so it was really painful. On the flight back home, Cassie says she switched seats so she wouldn't have to sit by him. But then he traded seats with the person next to her. On the flight, he played videos of freak-offs. On the flight, he played videos of freak-offs that Cassie thought she had deleted. He was going to embarrass me and release them, she testified. When they landed in New York, she said they went to dinner and then he wanted to have a freak off. So we had a freak off. So he probably just was starting to already act mad, like, because he already knew he wanted to ask for a freak off. So he had to like shift the leverage beforehand. So it's like, okay, let me make her think I'm actually mad at her so she can think she can make it up to me with a freak off. Because if I just ask her for a freak off, I know where she's going to complain. She's going to say no. Because like, why would anybody in their right mind even want to do that? True, good point. So let me switch leverage first. Let me make a big scene. Let me do all my own rugs and then accuse her of doing it. That's just what I speculate. I don't know. So it was after they were on the plane flying. He pulls up the freak off videos in a public place, right? Think about that. You're on a plane. She said, I got back on a commercial flight. It was public. It was a private flight. She said, I switched my seat. Then he switched his seat. He basically blackmails her with the video, according to her testimony. And she said, when we landed in New York, he wanted a freak off and I was going to give it to him. Because why? Quote, whatever was going to make him not be angry at me and threatening me. I was willing to do it. I just didn't want to feel scared anymore. And it was the one thing he made me feel like I was good at. I don't know why Britney Spears is coming up in my mind. Okay. Let's see if Inner City Press has anything else new. Okay, more texts. Let's read these texts from June 13th, 2013. Oh, it is thundering, y'all. I hope my internet holds up. The whole house just shook. Let's read these texts from June 13th, 2013. Had Diddy been violent with you before this? Yes. Had you told him before that you didn't want to do freak offs? Yes. You said you needed G to the H to the B? Uh-oh. Cassie said yes, and that 2 escorts were not available. Whew. Oh my God. I got distracted by these response tweets. But he can't do, okay, so I wrote only Paul available or Jake, the white guy. So they have a white guy, but remember they like, Diddy likes the Latin, African-American, Afro-Latino. Like he likes like a certain look. Remember we learned that yesterday? And it looks like, okay, we got this white guy. If no one else is available, we got Jake. He can't do until 11 p.m. The other guy can do earlier. It's just one more person knowing our secret. What do you mean? Okay, so remember, this is like supposedly they're reading back and forth a screenshot of a text message. And it's text message that is between Cassie setting up a freak off and Diddy, allegedly. So when it says AUSA, that's Diddy's. No, it's not. Excuse me. Okay, forget that. Strike that. The jury will strike. Where's my... Oh no, I lost my gavel, y'all. There's no justice. Where's my gavel? It's lost. Oh well. I'll have to find it on the break. Okay, so this is like text messages of Cassie and Diddy coordinating like which guy they're going to have for the FO. I wrote only Paul available or Jake the white guy, but he can't do until 11. The other guy, who's the other guy? Can do earlier. Quote, it's just one more person knowing our secret. What did you mean? The assistant U.S. attorney asked. The freak-offs, Cassie said. Our secret, the freak-offs. Like, obviously we can't have everybody in Hollywood knowing this. What is SLS? Cassie said a hotel in Hollywood. When would you take Valium before an FO? She said, when I had anxiety. Diddy's driver was bringing me the Valium. It was Raheem, I think. Okay. Let's check out, I guess that's not live. Cassie felt mortified. Okay, here's the title. 3 minutes ago, NBC just updated. They're kind of slow, but we're going to give them their moment. Diddy watched freak-off videos on commercial flight, terrifying Cassie, she says. Cassie felt mortified and trapped when she spotted Diddy watching videos of her having relations as they flew on a commercial, not private, jet, she testified. They had been arguing during a 2013 trip to Cannes, and that's the Cannes Film Festival, and the flight home took an embarrassing turn. He pulled up freak-off videos on his laptop that I thought were deleted. He was showing them with other people around. Yep. I know y'all saw me not even read that yet, and I still picked up what the prosecutor was trying to put down. Nobody was even around. I mean, everybody was around. It wasn't even like nobody was around. Like there was people. It was public. We were in public. I said, you are embarrassing me. I felt scared. I felt trapped. How do you get out of this situation? I felt trapped. That is truly maniacal and evil and sick, if true. Mercy. What's going on here? that well. I guess that's going to just stay on reader view. Let's see. Looking for some updates. Have you seen it? It is thundering AF outside. It is like, dare I say, a little bit much. Anything new here? CNN? No. Okay, let me pull up the Washington Post. They do good updates. It's like, were these people not able to get into courts today? Or they only were just doing the first 2 days? Oh, yeah, we got him. Okay. Go away. Go away. Thank you to Smiley for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Edie. Check out Brian Enton's interview with Audie. I will. I do have it pulled up. Look. Wait, no. Oh, I guess I took it down. Because remember yesterday I was having like issues with my computer, like running everything at once. We will watch that later, though. There's a Jonathan Audie interview, y'all. It's an exclusive interview. It just came out yesterday, and we will watch it. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, EEJ, for the $20 super chat. I'm going ahead and paying your $20 since you are doing the heavy lifting for me at home. Your coverage is amazing, BJ. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it, EE. Thank you, Witty Lady, for the £9.99. Thank you for being amazing. This is for Margarita Exorcism Therapy Spa Day Fun. Just no. Well, what about pink and white? Pink and white. That's my always go-to though. Even I'm not letting Diddy ruin it. Thank you for the $9.99. Thank you so much to Jay for the $2 super sticker. Shout out to you for that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Fiona, for the €2.49 super sticker. Thank you, Taylor. Have I ever tried blue light glasses? Yeah, but the issue is then you get glasses glare, and then that's a whole nother issue to deal with. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Oh my God, y'all. It is thundering so hard. My chair is shaking. Like I just shook. My whole body was just shook by the thunder that was outside. I will not be surprised if I lose power. I hope I don't. Thank you, Nicole, for the $20 super chat. Thank you for all the work you do. And yes, thank you, mods. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to the mods. Mods, drop your links in the chat. Cynthia, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're live. Be a point of reference in the coming. Oh, my lives will be a point of reference in the coming years. And we will all say, BJ told y'all, everyone hit them likes and follow. Tell him, Cynthia. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Welcome, Cam and Jam, to the membership. Shout out to you, new member. Rond? Thank you from South Africa. Is it Rond or Rand? How would a South African say it? Rand. Is that how they would say it? Rand. I don't know. Thank you so much, Charles Casper, for the $39.99 Rand/Rond. I don't know how to say it. Somebody tell me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to South Africa in the chat. Wow, we are truly, truly global. We are global out here. Okay, your eyebrows look extra good today. Thank you. Thank you, House of Wild, for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Sour Girl, for the $2.99 super sticker. Shout out, shout out, shout out to you. Do you think the emphasis on baby oil has anything to do with how it's paid for? Business funds, Lou Taylor. I honestly think it's probably laced. I just feel like I just keep thinking that, but I must say there's been no indication from the government that that's what's going on. Maybe there's something else. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's how it's paid for. Cause I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. Thank you for the very perplexing question and the $5 super chat. Welcome to members, Tina, Midkiff, shout out to you. And also for the $5 super chat. Thank you, BJ, for keeping us informed and for everything you do. Much love from Ohio. Go Buckeyes. Is that, you like them? Everybody in Ohio likes the Buckeyes, right? I just assume. Shout out to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the $5 super chat and becoming a member. Tina. Thank you, B, for the $4.99 super chat. Like this stream, or else Diddy gonna sign you to a 10 record contract. It's the truth. I heard that too. Just kidding. Thank you, B, for the $4.99 super chat. What? Alice, Moral, Dennis, BJ, thank you for all you do. What? $99.99 super chat? Oh my gosh. Everybody drop some rabbits and hearts and stars. And I just like saying drop some rabbits. It's so fun. Is Rabbit in the chat? Has she been here? No, she's live right now. How could she be in the chat? Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Alice, for the 99, the very, very generous super chat. Thank you, Edie, for the second super chat. Yep. I think they're trying to avoid mentioning Adi at all costs. Yep, the MSM, huh? They want him in jail. Plus, the NGI plea seems like a way to ensure he's viewed as not credible. Yeah, and he's saying he's ready to get out back in society. We're going to watch it a little later. We can watch it after the break probably, because I do have to, I have a sharp deadline. I have to get off around like 1:50 or so. 12:50 or so, and I'll be back shortly after, but we'll sort out those times in a moment. Thank you, Edie, for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Franny Law, for the $15 super chat. Thank you. Shout out to you. Fanfiction said G-Hole is kind of like being paralyzed, but you are conscious. Okay, so got it. Thank you for the super chat and also for the context and the clarification. That is very helpful because I have no additional context to add in such matters related to that specific. So she was kind of like, you're kind of like paralyzed, but you are conscious. Oh man, these civil suits against Diddy are coming to mind now too. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat and for that tip. Diddy got her physically dependent and addicted. Typical abusive partner tactic to trap the victim. Interesting. Thank you, Edie, for that being a member 18 months. Shout out to you, Maggie. Thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. Oh my God, that's a funny picture. You're putting mascara on the third eye. That's cute. Thank you, Mary, for the $4.99 super sticker. And thank you to Jackie for the $9.99 Virgo twin, for the $9.99 super chat. Virgo twin. Yes. Shout out to all the Virgos in the chat. I want to know why Donald Trump hasn't come out and admonished this man. Okay, so they're going to go on their break, but we got some things to catch up on first. Okay, that was it. Okay, yeah, what are they having for lunch? That's what I want to know. Cassie recalls gashing her face while fighting off Diddy. She recalled a time when Diddy attacked her and gashed her face in 2013, then forced her to go to a plastic surgeon to treat the wound. Diddy came in, I was asleep. He was trying to attack me. We went to the master bedroom. My friends were jumping on his back, trying to stop him. I cut my eyebrow on the corner of the bed. Diddy threw me onto the bed frame. I had a significant gash. I didn't go to the ER. It was a Sunday. Diddy had security take me to a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. After the incident, she said she texted Diddy a photo of the injury. Quote, so you can remember. Quote, you don't know when to stop. You've pushed it too far. Just say sorry, Cassie said. I don't know why I deserve that. You could care less if I was okay. Two new updates from CNN. Jury was shown more texts between Diddy and Cassie. A set of texts from 2013 showing Diddy and Cassie planning a freak off and discussing which escorts to invite. It's just one more person knowing our secret. She testified Wednesday that she was referring to the shame of the secret of the freak offs. I didn't want to do them. I just didn't want to be part of that, she testified. In another text message from January 2017, Ventura told Combs, Cassie told Diddy, quote, "Nothing good comes out of FOs anymore. You treat me like you're Ike Turner." Oh, that's going to be making headlines. You treat me like you are Ike Turner. Asked what she meant by the Turner reference, she testified that Diddy was abusive and controlling. I mean, he was actually physically abusive. He put me down a lot. As much as I was built up, I was put down quite a bit. It's also the just sheer embarrassment, like how he treated me in front of other people. The jury seeing, oh, I already saw that. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so the jury has left for lunch, but there is a little bit of conversation still happening. The jurors left. Hold on. And the prosecutor asks, "Are there still disagreements on the exhibits?" Oh, excuse me. The judge asks, "Are there still disagreements on the exhibits?" The prosecutor said, "Yes." The defense, Diddy's side, wants the exhibit to be longer and about Asian. Diddy's side said, yeah, the government wanted to cut it off at looking at my iPad. So I don't know if there's more to that. That was 11 minutes ago. All right. Interesting. Thank you, Venus Lightning, for the €5 super chat. Yes, fellow God's favorite, Anita Marie. Everyone is God's favorite in this chat unless they're not. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Bad to the Bone Paranormal. Welcome to memberships. Thank you. Shout out to you. Sarah Panella, thank you for the €10. Thank you, BJ, for the coverage and love from Portugal. Yes, shout out to Portugal. Wow, we are global. Thanks so much. Thank you to Jamie for the $2 super chat. And yes, super shout out to all Virgos in the chat. Shout out to, what does this say? One Kanks. Oh, girl, I can't read that. Wunasan? A girl, no. Thank you for the £5. Thanks for updates from Sheffield? How you say it? Sheffield, UK, Sheffield. I like Sheffield. That's better. UK. Thank you for the £5 all the way from the UK. We are all over the world. We are worldwide. We made it. Thank you, Rochelle, for the $10 super sticker. I really appreciate that. And to Haley OKC for the 99-cent super sticker. Thank you. Everybody, if you are so inclined, you can also donate to the legal fund. I get a little bit higher percentage from that, and it is linked in the description box down below. The Stallioness said Tina was absolutely iconic, and she whooped his butt and stood up for herself and excelled on her own. Rest in peace to the queen. Heard that. We have lightning in the south of Spain too, and chemtrails. Lightning and chemtrails at the same time, girl. How do you see? Some people not happy. Adi's been safe in prison. It's all just so interesting. It's just all so interesting. Emily said, it makes me just think about how Kanye said all that stuff online recently, so someone maybe couldn't use it against him to blackmail him. Very interesting. Wow. Well, thank you. Shout out to the mods in the chat, taking care of everything, taking care of everyone. Drop your links. I will be back, I think about, let's call it 2 o'clock p.m., maybe 2:15, something like that. And maybe 2:30 even. We'll see. That's all I like for this one. See y'all in part 2 later today. Facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Love you, Minnie K. Bye.